Thank you, Chair. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the organizers for holding this event. It is indeed a great pleasure to be able to take part in this high-level dialogue. And I have been asked to speak on the recent declaration by Pacific Island leaders that was adopted in Papua New Guinea just last month. At the recent Pacific Island Development Forum held in Fiji, the leaders of the Pacific produced a Suva declaration which spells out key issues of the climate change COP in Paris. Let me highlight two key issues for us, and let me also explain why. We believe that the agreement should clearly state that we are setting a goal to achieve a temperature stabilization level of well below 1.5 degrees Celsius relative to pre-industrial times. Some say that this is unachievable. Others say it is. However, we should not limit our aspirations to the limit of our technology capacity today. We are talking about an agreement that will enter into force in 2020. Therefore, we must be progressive in our thinking. For low-lying atoll corals, nations like Tuvalu, it is indeed essential that we set a below 1.5 degrees Celsius goal, and why the Pacific leaders have set this goal. The fifth assessment report of the IPCC clearly shows that a temperature level of above 1.5 degrees Celsius would be catastrophic for a country like Tuvalu. We cannot sign onto an agreement that will spell the end of Tuvalu. What would I say to my people back home if I go home after Paris? I have just signed a document that will spell the end of us in a few years' time. Another key issue that was identified by Pacific leaders was a new mechanism on loss and damage in the Paris legal agreement. This again is a red light for us. We need the means to recover from the inevitable impacts of climate change. In the Bonn climate change session in September, all developing countries agreed on a common position to support a new mechanism on loss and damage in the Paris legal agreements. So this is not just an issue for small island developing states. No matter how hard we try to adapt to climate change, we will inevitably suffer impacts. We need a loss and damage mechanism in the Paris legal agreement that will deliver a permanent and politically committed arrangement to support our rehabilitation. Some say that we have in the Warsaw mechanism on loss and damage already. While this is a useful interim arrangement established by a COP decision, we need a permanent, legally binding arrangement that will deliver a strong intervention and UN-wide response. We need new innovative thinking to deliver a new arrangement for all vulnerable nations that cover effective insurance or other form of risk transfer schemes. We need the predictable funds to support rehabilitation and relief for those affected by climate change. We need to provide a coherent response to those displaced by the impacts of climate change. We hope all of you here will support us in achieving these two key elements in the Paris legal agreement, a below 1.5 degree goal and a new loss and damage mechanism in Paris. And I thank you.